Hello, ladies. This is our second watch party for the group. And if you missed the watch party, then I'm going to just post the video a little bit later in the day, and it will just live here. You will see this video more often because this is a sponsored post. And you might be wondering who the lady is on the other side of the screen. I just want to take a minute to welcome Michelle Matthijs. She works with Pay It Forward processing as well as joint venture pay. They are a credit card processing company, both sides of them, both the joint venture pay and the Pay It Forward processing. I know personally that this can be it's like walking through waist-high weeds sometimes to find the right person to work with. So part of these sponsorships that I'm doing, I want you to know that these companies have my buy-in for a number of different reasons. But in this particular case, the reason I chose to work with Michelle is Pay It Forward processing is just like it sounds. They are very dedicated to donating. I think, Michelle, isn't it 1% of every swipe?
It's actually 10% of our net proceeds with all the programs that we sell go to our vetted charities. So we donated over $400,000 in 2019, and our goal is to get to $1 million a year.
Yeah, so that's a big deal, right? But that's all well and good, but if you have to go through hell and back just to work with somebody, that totally negates the fact that they donate to charity. So I also wanted someone that was reputable, and I did a little bit of research. They have very high ratings. They are 5-star rated with the Better Business Bureau, as well as having an A+ rating. So that should tell you they are credible, and their fees are very competitive. So I just wanted to introduce Michelle and let her kind of take it from here. Tell us a little bit about the company, what this looks like for the women in our group, and how it can benefit them.
Awesome.
And whenever you want to go to the slideshow, just let me know and I'll switch it over.
Sure. If you could just put the first slide up, which is my contact information. So Pay It Forward processing was actually created out of ashes. Our CEO and CFO had lost everything in California wildfires. And the story from her son goes, mom and dad were raking through the ashes, and mom got a phone call from a friend who was taken advantage of by an unethical processor. And she turned to her husband and said, honey, I figured out how we're going to rebuild into business. We're going to pay forward our blessings and we're going to give money away. At which point he almost had a heart attack and she just went back to raking. So if you know Renee, that's pretty typical. So 17 years ago, actually over 17 years ago, Pay It Forward processing was born. Joint venture pay is our high risk side. So Pay It Forward is our low risk side. So there's really not a business that we can't help between the two platforms. So we do everything from a corner coffee shop to cannabis dispensaries and hemp and CBD. And we do it all with the focus on our Every Swipe Benefits charity program. So it's really where our heart and soul is, and everything we do is around it. We also do business funding, so from $5,000 to $250,000 for existing businesses. So if you need a little cash flow or new equipment, we can help with that as well. So those are all the ways to get a hold of me.
So yes, if you take a look at the screen, it's sharing right now. All of her information is listed there. So if you take just a couple of seconds to jot that down. Michelle, I just have a quick question for you. I know
Sure.
you touched on the high risk side. So I know you touched on it. When you say high risk, oftentimes when we think of credit, we're thinking, does our credit score play into this? Is that what you mean by high risk, or is it something else?
It's something else. So high risk in the merchant processing world means not typical businesses, or a little bit newer, and the banks aren't quite sure what's going on in there, and they're sort of putting their toe in, but they're being really cautious. So that's where cannabis comes in because it's not federally legal, but it's legal in a lot of states.
Right.
Hemp and CBD is legal across the country, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 states. I have to check my map every day to figure it out. But we do that full blast as well. So really, there's nothing that we can't service, from small to large. There are a couple industries that we won't service just because that's who we are as a company. We won't do like gambling and stuff like that. But that's our choice as a company. But we can usually place almost every merchant. We work with a lot of different resources and solutions to do that. So our companies are brokers. So the difference is, if you were to go to Square, which we're actually certified Square resellers, we're 1 of 10 in the country because of our reputation. If you work directly with them, you've locked yourself into that solution. When you work with a broker like us, especially us, we are constantly looking for more and more solutions. So if there's a lower rate out there, we're going to try to put you on that program. We're a little weird. We actually joke that we're the unicorns in the field of donkeys because it is a very sleazy industry. But we really strive to get the best rates, the best service, for our clients. On our low risk side, we will either meet or beat their current rates. That is our commitment as a company. And we still get back to the Every Swipe Benefits charity program. And that doesn't cost our clients a dime.
Okay.
On the high risk, because it's so volatile, we will try to get you the best rates we can with a legitimate solution. We work with several of them, so it's a little bit different on that side. It gives me gray hairs. So
Awesome. Are you ready for the next slide?
I am.
Okay.
So part of the whole credit card processing world, and the reason that people get scammed so often, is because they don't understand how it quite works. So I wanted to put this slide in, and we're going over things really, really fast here. But if anybody has questions, our company, that's what we pride ourselves in, is explaining the things that you don't understand, even going through your current statement and showing you things that maybe just don't work, or why are they charging you. We can help with that. That's what we do. I spend 90% of my time explaining terms and things of how it works. So if you are going shopping and you are taking your credit card shopping, which most of us do, the merchant, when you go into your merchant, they process the credit card, and the authorization is requested as soon as you swipe your card through the machine. It's requested electronically. That merchant sends it to the through the credit card network. So they then send it to the card issuer, whoever issued that card. They're like, hey, do they still have this money on the card, or did they max it? And then the card issuer approves or declines the transaction. And that happens really quickly. Think about how quick your transactions go through at the counter. They then issue the authorization to the merchant bank. Now, the merchant bank, you're going to hear merchant bank or underwriting bank when it comes to credit card processing. So in order to have a credit card processing program to be able to accept cards, there has to be a bank, an underwriting bank or an acquiring bank that is going to be sponsoring just the transaction moving the cash. They're fronting it basically until it's paid. So then that merchant bank forwards the response to the merchant receives the authorization, and they complete the transaction, and you get to go home with whatever goods or things that you want to hide from your husband that you bought that day. Just saying. The merchant then deposits the transaction into the merchant bank. The merchant bank then puts the merchant's account and submits the transaction to the credit card network for settlement. That's called batching. Some programs do it automatically. Some you actually have to do yourself. Some are free. Some there's a transaction fee. So, a batch fee. So pay attention to that. And then the credit card network facilitates the movement of the money to the proper accounts. The card issuer posts a transaction to the cardholder's account, and they get the lovely statement in the mail, which if you don't get it from your husband, especially after Christmas shopping, he might have a heart attack. Just saying. I like those graphics when I made this. So that is how a 30-second or less transaction happens every time you tap, swipe, or put your credit card number into a website. So what is a merchant processor? That is just someone who helps connect merchants into payment solutions. So it could be credit card solutions. It could be e-check. It could be, there's a new another popular one called cashless ATM, where you would actually do a debit transaction just like at an ATM, but instead the client would hand you back change. So they still have that electronic passability. It's coming right from your bank account. It's a little less expensive for the merchant. And so there's lots of different ways that we can connect a client to electronic payments, because when you accept electronic payments, especially credit card payments, your sales usually go up by 60%. And they buy more because it's easy. Because how often did you go shopping, for example, around the holidays and, oh, I'm going to stick to this budget. And then when you get the bill, you're like, holy crud, what did I do? So we all do it. So that's one thing. The advantages of working with a broker, I think we went over this a minute ago, is we have lots of solutions. And if you're with a good one, we're going to always make sure that we monitor your program and try to get you on the best rates possible, because we want to work with you long term. That's how we make our money. So.
And I just skipped past the definitions. Do you want to go over any of those?
We can go over them, but it's going to take a while. So here's what I suggest. Anybody have any questions about what PCI means, or flat versus interchange, and all those words that scare the crud out of people, and most merchant processors just gloss over really fast, hoping you're not going to ask the questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can send you the definitions, or feel free to book an appointment with me too. I just realized that's not on a appointment or the form, but I can definitely tell it to you over the video. And I'd be happy to answer those questions. We do that all day long.
Okay.
So,
and then our screens here are, what does our company do? So
yeah.
Go ahead.
So this is just a basic overview of what Pay It Forward and Joint Venture Pay do. We help provide e-invoicing, electronic check payments, credit card solutions, the cashless ATMs, e-commerce mobile storefront. We do a lot of business funding lately. We love that. We are helping businesses just get that cash flow that they might need for special projects or new equipment. We help with the hardware and a lot more. Like PCI compliance, we can't do it for you, but we will help you. And if you don't know what PCI compliance is, please reach out to me, because if you are not your PCI compliant and you are hacked for any reason, you could be liable up to $100,000 per person's information that's taken. So it's really, really important. And we pretty much serve anything: restaurants, stores, pop-ups, online businesses, offices. We love non-for-profits, everything from small to really, really large. We say everything from a corner coffee shop to a cannabis dispensary. So we can usually find you a home.
Okay. For all of the ladies that are in the group that want to reach out to Michelle, as long as, disclaimer, as long as it's about this, you can private message her. Mm-hmm. You'll find her. She is in our group. Her name is Michelle. You'll find her Facebook name is Michelle. Is it Wolcott?
Yep, Wilcox-Mattice. M as in Mary, ATT like the phone company, and ICE like you'd want in a cocktail at 5 o'clock.
Yes. So reach out to her there. You can just click on the section that says members, and you can just search for her and reach out to her that way. I do have to let you know that this does benefit our group. If you end up working with her, it does go to benefit us continuing operations. As you know, we're growing tremendously. And it's taking more and more time, and now more and more people, which I'm very excited about, but I have to start compensating people eventually. So I just want to take a minute to say thank you. And anyone who wants to work with her, her phone number is 800-579-0727, extension 803. Or you can reach out to her. Her email address is michelle@jointventurepay.com. Mm-hmm. Anything else, Michelle?
No, thank you so much for your time. And I love this group. This group is awesome. Women roar. We are fierce. So go.
I love it. Good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And hopefully this will help some women out in the group, as well as send some business your way.
Thank you. Well, I'm all about helping people. That's where my heart is. So
good deal. Well, thank you so much for your time, and we will see you later, ladies.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.